And we are live here in Harrah's in Atlantic City for our second match of Day 3 of the NBA Cup's second event of the season. And it's two teams that are looking for positioning as we close out this weekend. Chicago Untouchables have turned around their season with 2 wins this weekend. Meanwhile, Southern Exposure, they split the action, and they would like to spoil the party that Chicago has enjoyed so far, as they have completely revamped their roster. Let's see today if Southern Exposure has an answer for Ian Cap, who has done a tremendous job at leading the way for Chicago. Meanwhile, Southern Exposure yesterday got a really nice defensive performance from Kyle D'Agostino, the libero, former national team member. That could be the player of the game for Southern Exposure if they're going to find a way to keep their season alive as well.
Yeah, Southern Exposure's libero has been a huge addition to this team. New face on the squad this weekend, Kyle D'Agostino. Libero just finished up another season playing over in Slovenia. Obviously has been in the USA gym for quite some time and making an impact as the libero, being an MVP of their match yesterday. Not something you see for a player that doesn't actually score technical points on the board, but contributes in many other ways, and Kyle did that for them yesterday as well.
Ian Cap at center yesterday for Chicago did a really nice job of leading an offense that was consistent all around, got everybody involved, but more so than anything is the pressure he put on at the service line, where, yes, he landed some aces, but it wasn't just about the aces. It was about keeping their opponents out of their system. That's probably going to be a key for victory today for Chicago, to continue to put that pressure on Southern Exposure.
Yeah, absolutely. Inline service pressure on both sides is definitely something that every team in the NBA really emphasizes and invests a lot of time on in their practice gym. Obviously, that inline pressure resulting in an out-of-system sort of offensive play for the opposition team, and inline pressure, once again, as usual, something to key on for both teams here.
It's 55 degrees and still raining outside. This is definitely not the Memorial Day weekend weather that you would prefer, but it's about 75 and perfect indoors here at Harrah's as we get ready for our second match of the day. Ira Thor alongside former 2-time All-America Matt Prosser, and we hope to bring you another exciting match. Our first one of the day went 3 as the Tyrants continue to steamroll towards the postseason as they closed out a perfect weekend here in Atlantic City, knocking off the Tornadoes.
Expecting a great match here, number 2, second match of the day. Chicago Untouchables have had a nice weekend so far, a couple of new faces. We're going to see some changes in their lineup as well here. See the tallest player in the NVA, that's Paul Balanzak, number 16. He's a 7-foot-tall middle playing for Chicago. So see, it looks like number 5, Ryan Alu, the libero. Number 13 there, Will Ragland, getting the starting nod for the Untouchables. We haven't seen him this weekend. Looks like Ryan Schwady will be playing opposite once again. Number 4, Ian Cap taking over the setting duties, and then number 2, Moises Lopez, the outside. Excuse me. Hold on a second. Moises Lopez will be taking over the setting duties as Ian Cap is playing an outside hitter once again. And then number 18, Tom Burrell, the other middle blocker for the Untouchables. Meanwhile, for the team in black over there, you just had them on your screen, Southern Exposure. We have number 13, Chad Mercado, playing opposite. We saw him yesterday. Number 2, Eddie Mushikian, the outside hitter, 5'11", out of Santa Clarita, California, the sub-6-foot-tall outside hitter. I mentioned him earlier, the libero, Kyle D'Agostino. That's number 16, Langston Payne, the 6'6" middle blocker, along with number 11, Kevin Rockline, 6'3" outside hitter from Orlando, Florida, and number 15, Derek Sullivan, taking over the setting duties once again for Southern Exposure. So a few new faces on the court. Both teams appear to be ready to go. final clarifications on a few pieces of vital information.
As my internet went out, so I was trying to pull up the standings to give a better idea of what the teams are playing for, but we do have a graphic that we'll share with you a little bit later. During one of our technical timeouts, we'll have a chance to really dive deeper into what everyone is fighting for. This is the 6th of 9 regular season matches. They will play everybody once, and that will set up our postseason picture. So we are just about set to go. It'll be Derek Sullivan serving for Southern Exposure. As both teams have taken the court, and we are ready for live action here in Atlantic City, our 2nd of 5 today. Down the line, goes for it right away and misses just wide.
Wow, nice to see a good, sharp, crisp jump serve down the line. Testing the line passing of Will Ragland there on the Untouchables team, but that ball just goes out of bounds. And Ian Kapp now, one of the Untouchables' better servers here.
Ian Kapp, we talked about the service in the open, how crucial that's going to be today. High, off the hands. Kapp lays out with one hand and flicks it back, and they'll send it over to reset. They go outside. Mercado, that is dug up and goes over. And on the 4th attempt, put away in the middle by Langston Payne, the former George Mason star.
Nice quick attack and transition by Payne there. Able to put down the ball in that rally. Nice backhand flipper sighting by Ian Kapp on that rundown.
That's amazing to be able to flip that as you're diving out of bounds and worrying about, really you're worrying about your landing. He gave it all up there as Wiskerchen sends it too long.
You will see Paul Bolanzik, 7-foot-tall middle. His jump float serve, passed by D'Agostino.
They go outside, dug up along the line there. Cross court, Sullivan gets hands on it. And too long by Rockline. And an early 3-1 lead for Chicago. Again, a couple of changes to the Chicago lineup. Dan Nugent is not out there after starting yesterday. Right side swing away is Mercado for the put away.
Mercado's going to see a lot of action. We saw him yesterday, opposite hitter for Southern Exposure, carrying a big offensive load, both inside, side out, and also transition hitting.
From the right side, swinging away and putting it down. Double block by Rockline and Ofoha.
Schwady with the left-handed opposite attack, but Ofoha says not yet. Get used to seeing quite a few blocks from him.
So Payne, Jersey product with the serve, and in the middle that is put away for Chicago. As Gorian with the kill, and back to serve will be Schwady. Leaves it short. So Mercado's already got one kill in the bank, serves down the lines, and also misses wide.
Clearly see that Southern Exposure is trying to target Will Ragland there on his passing. He's gone out of bounds twice, and now here's Ragland's jump serve off the tape.
Off the tape, they go down the middle again, and one more time. Big swing in the middle as Ofoa puts it away, his first kill.
Big presence by Ofoha out of the middle for Southern Exposure in his NVA debut weekend.
Go down the middle. Now from the outside, blocked back again. Double block combination of Sullivan and Ofoha. Second block for Southern Exposure.
Well-formed block there between those two guys, Sullivan and Ofoha. Getting their hands over the net, penetrating and rejecting that ball back down.
They go deep again, targeting the liberos. Looks like a double coming out of the hands. And an easy call. So that puts the lead at 7-5. The big toss here from Rockline, but leaves it short. The exposure members of the national, the national conference. I was right the first time. Untouchables in the American Conference, so a little bit of a crossover here from the back row, putting it away. Big time swing for Chicago by Will Ragland.
Ragland coming out of the back row in transition. Nice attack line by him in his first action of the weekend.
They go Mercado with the bick, and he puts it away.
Mercado not afraid to swing against the 7-foot block, going inside his angle line attack.
And as we get to our first technical timeout, Mercado certainly having the courage there to go against the biggest blocker in the gym.
Mercado getting a little steam behind that swing there. Definitely not afraid of the 7-foot tall blocker in the light blue jersey there. Good to see him continue to swing away as he's a key player for Southern Exposure. Filling out that jersey nicely. Southern Exposure off to a good start here. Just up by 1 point here during our first technical timeout of set number 1. Technical timeouts coming at 8 and 16 points respectively. Gives teams a chance to catch their breath. Quick little analysis of current game status. Both teams obviously have 2 timeouts of their own to use as they deem necessary. The Chicago Untouchables, they're ready to take the court. Front row players Sullivan, Payne, and Wiskerchen here of Southern Exposure. We have a foot fault and a service error. 2 wrongs don't make a right in that situation as Lafoha finds the net. Tied at 8. Here's the setter for the Untouchables. Lopez now getting ready to serve. Jump float. Pass by D'Agostino. Wiskerchen goes cross court for the winner inside the block.
So Eddie Wiskerchen gets his first kill of the match, and a 1-point lead now for Southern Exposure, and back to serve will be Derek Sullivan.
Derek Sullivan, a mainstay here for Southern Exposure. Nice jump serve, and that one falls in front of Ragland for an ace.
Yeah, Ragland did a good job there of trying to fake everyone out, thinking he had scooped it. No, Sullivan drops it in, first ace of the match for either side.
Sullivan with a little off-speeder. Still targeting Will Ragland's passing. This one finds Ryan Alu.
Much better pass by Ragland, tipped over, that's covered by Sullivan. They go outside, down the line with authority as Wiskerchen puts it away for his second kill.
Wiskerchen with a nice swing down the line, a 5'11" outside hitter. Not afraid to be the smallest guy on the court, offensively speaking. I think he's got about a ½ inch over his teammate in the light blue jersey, D'Agostino.
Another big serve this time, right at the net. Cap swings away. It's really interesting to see Cap as an offensive player rather than a setter, as that falls in front of Chicago.
The free ball falling right in front of the setter Lopez, while Cap and Balanzik, you go, I go kind of thing. Kind of a 3-way hubby-wife action right there. Work on their communication skills.
So key, especially in a game that moves this fast, is that communication, as that is put just wide. Now, big swing by Schwede, but he couldn't connect. Still looking for his first kill. And Sullivan, well, he continues to serve, and Southern Exposure is finding its rhythm with him behind the service line. Score is 13-8. changes course with the serve, this time in the middle, and the answer is 7 foot tall. Bolanczyk drops it in.
Watch out for Paul Bolanczyk, the 7 foot tall middle blocker. If he gets going offensively, the emotions start to come out, and he is a very exciting player to watch as long as the passes are there and he can get incorporated offensively into this match.
So here's Cap. Cap goes for it down the line. Close to the net, blocked back. This time they go right side. Oh, a double stuff! And you can see the excitement from Bolanczyk. He also got some help, indeed, from Ragland as they team up on that block. First one of the match for Chicago.
Nice block by Paul Bolanczyk against the 5'11 Wiskerchen. Interesting to see how that challenge works out throughout this match as well.
Cap, another big serve. Kept in, Sullivan with the set, off the hands. And that's out of play. Cap again lays out. He's done a good job of trying to cover not only the whole court, but a lot of out-of-bounds territory. But that was
back
too high
row
off the hands.
Players of the Untouchables expect to see a lot of deflections off of their block. And Cap showing the back row prowess back there.
Better pass this time. In the middle, swinging away was Bolanczyk. The tip down the line, that probably would have been out, but scooped up defensively. Now, right side, swinging away is Mercado. Third chance coming up here for Chicago. Down!
Schwede down the line. Nice
Kyle
swing by
Schwede.
him.
That's his first kill of the match, and he had a one-on-one opportunity and seized it.
Schwede in transition, the lefty opposite there, number 11 in blue. Good swing by him down the line.
And we'll see Paul Bolanczyk to serve. Gets the thumbs up from the official. From the right side, Mercado tips it down the line. Cap is waiting for it. They go back to Schwede, stuffed. Double block by Rockline and Payne. Third block for Southern Exposure here in the first set.
Yeah, a nice well-formed block there. That set for Schwede might have been a tad bit outside of his window. Tried to sneak it cross court. Rockline and Payne said, not this time.
Better pass. Again, they go cross court. Oh, with authority, Ragland drops it in.
Ragland with a huge swing cross court for the winner is right in front of the dropping Rockline. I think if he had stepped into the court a little bit more, he could have played that ball, but Ragland with a nice swing right there for the Untouchables.
And basically drops it inside of the 3-meter line. As we'll see the serve coming from Schwede. Mercado drops it in the back corner as we reach our second tactical timeout of the first set. Chad Mercado's coming alive, his third kill. And Southern Exposure continues to lead by 4.
Yeah, Southern Exposure going on a nice run there with that good 4-point little cushion here. Second technical timeout. Nice to see some strong right side attacking by Southern Exposure so far. Really going after the block of Will Ragland and the Untouchables. But something to talk about here real quick, Ira. The serving strategies so far by the Untouchables, they seem to have been serving Kyle D'Agostino a little bit more, the libero for Southern Exposure. Do you think that's a good strategy going into this match, or would you have some suggestions for him?
I think it's always a dangerous approach when you're going after the libero. They're out there for a reason. I don't know if they've been, if they've seen something on film, and that's a question that's something I'd really like to talk about, is just how much time these teams have to look at any film. You know, while they're here in the resort. They've played 2 matches. They're all broadcast. They're all archived online. So do they have enough time to really dive into it, or are they going off of the scouting reports that they had coming into the weekend?
Well, I'd like to think they've got more than enough time, considering everything is archived on YouTube, that they can watch it whenever they choose to. First of all. Secondly, I think it's a terrible strategy to go after the libero.
I agree.
Since that is their main role on the court, is the primary passer and sometimes the best passer on a given team, and D'Agostino definitely fits that role for Southern Exposure. So
Mercado with a good deep serve as we return to play, and that is stuck down the line by Ragland as he picks up his third kill. I mean, the libero, obviously, by nature of the position, that's your job is to pass, but we've seen some of our pins doing just as good of a job as the liberos this weekend.
Absolutely right.
That one is kept alive. What a great pass, and you see the result as that is hammered home.
Yeah, well played there by Southern Exposure. Eddie Mishikian with a great pass. Rockline coming in from the left side for a strong kill, earning that side out to maintain the 4-point lead here in set number 1.
Southern Exposure is 1-1 this weekend as they lost to the Tyrants and yesterday took out the Tornadoes. They're trying to improve to 2-1. That goes in the favor of Cap, his first kill of the afternoon. Ian Cap yesterday, such a great job at setter, but today they're going to use him in a different role.
Yeah, interesting to see Cap playing outside hitter today. He has been setting throughout the weekend. Interchangeable pieces here. Mercado out of the back row and dug by Burrell.
Little miscommunication there between the setter Lopez.
Usually I get upset when a middle tries to set the ball, but that was Schwede the opposite. Getting in Lopez's way, unfortunately, a bit of miscommunication there and an unfortunate opportunity lost by the Untouchables.
I don't know if they didn't hear Lopez yelling for help, but that has to be his balls. That is left well short by Ofoha. So it's 18-15 as the Untouchables continue to at least preserve a chance to rally here in the first set as the ball in the hands of Lopez, the setter. And sent over on 2. Oh, a useful spot by Sullivan.
Nice heads-up play, catching the back row players of the Untouchables sleeping there. Sullivan was a little bit off the net and throws over that setter dump for the winner.
So Sullivan, he's back behind the line. His team up by 4. In the middle, that is blocked back. Payne got hands on it. Down the line, waiting for it was Sullivan. Oh, the libero lost his footing there, and they have to send it over. Cap will swing away. Big hands there to keep it alive, and just wide.
Unfortunate miss there. Great dig by D'Agostino. Mercado trying to go over on 2 back to the corner. Kicking himself now. Can't believe he missed that.
D'Agostino's everywhere and just couldn't keep it in play. Was Southern Exposure as Cap swings away and misses long.
Cap with the green light all the time to hit his jump serve. He's gone on some nice runs throughout the weekend. Unfortunately, just missing there. Southern Exposure first team to 20 here. Statistics showing first team to 20 wins that set about 87.5% of the time.
It's a great number by you. I did not know that. Is D'Agostino with the dig. Right side, Mercado goes cross court, real tight angle too. And then blocked back solo stuff as Langston Payne gets the rejection on the 7-footer Bolanzik.
Well played by Langston there. Any of those younger middle blockers out there watching, always get your hands up and over the net. You never know. You might get lucky and catch a block like that out of bounds. Doesn't have to be straight down to be a point. As long as that block lands in the court, you'll get credit for it, and the point will go to your team.
What about one-on-one? Payne getting those hands up against the 7-footer. Payne comes in, very experienced collegiate player out of George Mason, but he gives up 6 inches.
I mean, height doesn't always tell the story. I mean, it's tough to play against a 7-foot-tall middle blocker sometimes, but in that instance, Payne able to get his hands up and over the net and directs that attack right back down into the corner for a point and a block going towards him in Southern Exposure. So, meanwhile, for the Untouchables over there, they're not playing bad. They just kind of gotten themselves into a little bit of a hole. They got to put some service pressure on Southern Exposure, keep their serves in. Ian Cat missing his last one, but Schwede, unfortunately, with that untimely miscommunication between him and Lopez. And the rare block going against the 7-foot-tall Bolanczyk. Interesting to see not on the court is Milnazic, one of the better outside hitters for the Untouchables throughout the weekend.
Wiskerchen with the serve for Southern Exposure. That's going to be tipped over as Ragland partially blocked. Cross court just wide as Mercado puts his hands to his face. Wanted that one and just missed it too far wide. And that will give Chicago a much needed side out here. And it'll be Bolanczyk. Deep float. Down the middle, Payne.
Burrell.
And a little medicine of his own as he is blocked down.
Burrell with a nice block there against Langston Payne. He's finally on the board there with his first block of the match. Getting involved as well defensively for the Untouchables.
So solo block for Tom Burrell, third block as a team for Chicago. D'Agostino has to change direction. He did almost a full circle of the court. Sent back in the play and dumped over. Chance here in transition. Payne a little bit off of that one, but enough to find the floor.
Nice change up there by Langston Payne. I don't know if he meant to do it, but a bit of the paintbrush shot. It's tough to practice, but works when you do get it just right. Langston Payne now gonna come out for number 5, serving substitution. Johnny Gomez will come back and serve for Southern Exposure.
Former collegiate teammates.
There you go.
Gomez drops it. Cap nearly lost his footing. One-handed save by Michigan, no, and put it away there. Another kill for Ragland. So Ragland picks up his team-high 4th kill, and we will see the ball in the hands of Schwede.
Will Ragland making a nice contribution to his team offensively so far through set number 1.
They go right side, Mercado. Schwede, and tipping it over was Ragland. Here's a chance down the line. Oh, smashed away. Rock line.
Big credit to D'Agostino with a great set, just right on the money. Jumping set from behind the 10-foot line, keeping everything legally available. Rockline with a nice attack down the line and transition set up by D'Agostino.
And Rockline, 6'3", one of the more undersized players on the court, but he absolutely went for that one down the line. No fear at all, and that's going to force Chicago to use its final timeout here in the opening game. And you know, these are two teams that right now are probably looking at the middle tier of the standings in the conference. So there's so much at stake. You know these teams are going to go all out today. You got to gamble, and it's funny you say gamble as we're sitting here in a casino, but you have to gamble a little bit if you're going to be the team that's going to come out of this weekend in the top half. You want to probably be in that 4 to 5 range of the league standings going to that final event of the year, so you control your destiny a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely, Ira. I mean, you know, as we kind of work our way through event number 2, you're starting to see the cream rise to the top a little bit. You're seeing some middle-of-the-pack teams that are scrambling, trying to find their identity, and then you do have the ones that are still sort of trying to find their way. But in terms of these two teams, you know, working towards finishing out their conference schedules, you know, within the top 4 standings, obviously you want to go into that 3rd weekend and 4th weekend playing your best volleyball of the year. That's what we're working towards right now.
Blocked back. Is there a net violation? There is.
Yeah, there was a net violation on number 2. Lopez, the setter, just sort of drifted into the bottom of the net after setting that ball.
And that gives Southern Exposure set point number 1. Cotto goes for it, misses, but so many set points in their pocket that you can gamble a little bit. And that will force Will Ragland to try to go on a run to keep his team in the match in this first set. And he does go for it, and he misses long. And Southern Exposure takes game number 1 by a score of 25-20.
Nice all-around play by Southern Exposure. Good offensive output from every one of their players. Service pressure from the inline was good, as we saw Derek Sullivan going on a nice run. Kyle D'Agostino patrolling the backcourt, setting great hittable balls in transition for Southern Exposure. The Untouchables just sort of got off to a little bit of a slow start. It's more production out of Paul Bolanczyk and Kyle Schwady, their opposite hitter. Really give credit to the block and defense of Southern Exposure, getting, I think, more blocks in that first set than the Untouchables. We'll have to check our stats on that. But overall, nice high-level volleyball being played so far in this first game of our second match, Ira.
Yeah, the blocks are pretty similar right now. Southern Exposure with 4-3 for the Untouchables. And if you're Chicago, Ragland has been your most consistent offensive weapon right now. Haven't really got much contribution out of the middles and kill from Burrell, but very quiet has been Paul Bolanczyk so far. Really got to get him going. Yeah,
along with the other middle, Tom Burrell. This is a different lineup than we've seen throughout the weekend from the Untouchables, having Cap at the outside hitter position instead of Lopez, who's setting now. Mentioned that Milnazik's on the bench, not playing offensively. He's been an outstanding outside hitter for the Untouchables throughout this weekend. So possibly maybe see a personnel change there to create some different matchups going against Southern Exposure so far.
Matt, you want to take a look at the standings? We can take a look at where the teams are right now as we'll bring that graphic up. And you can see the American Conference, National Conference leaders, the Ramblers out of Vegas. They are 4-1. Team Freedom, the local team here in Jersey, the only unbeaten remaining. But Southern Exposure, they are 3-2 overall. They are hanging around. The Stunners, they're 2-0 this weekend after an 0-3 start. Completely have revamped their roster and gotten themselves potentially right back in the thick of things. The Matadors 1-4, the Tornadoes 0-5. Going back to the American side, the Stingers are 3-2. The Tyrants, they picked up a win today, so they are now 4-2 after the victory over the Tornadoes. Tornadoes actually dropped to 0-6 on the year, so I want to give you that one update. And there you see the Blaze and the Untouchables. Chicago, got to get this victory today if they want to find themselves to be able to challenge the Tyrants, maybe for that 3 or 4 spot. Top 4, we believe, make the playoffs in each division.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an extremely important game for the Untouchables. They do not want to go into that last weekend in the number 5 spot. So you're right, Ira. Top 4 teams do advance on to weekend number 4 here in July for the National Volleyball Association. We do have our 3rd event coming up in 2 weeks back in Los Angeles. So teams will get some chances to regroup at home and practice a few things coming into that 3rd event. But the Untouchables definitely need to emphasize this match for them right now, or else they're going to put themselves in a little bit of a hole going into number 3.
What do you think about putting Ian Cap back at the center position and maybe bring in either Nugent to hit, or perhaps, I don't know, I guess the other possible move would be to bring back in Jake Milnazikh. He didn't have as impactful a match yesterday.
Yeah, so you'll see number 9 right there. Milnazikh, it looks like he is coming back in. Cap coming back onto the court, so it looks like Cap might take over the setting duties as Lopez is number 2. He's still back there on the sideline with the rest of the reserves. But I see Burrell, Bolanczyk, Milnazikh, Ragland, Schwady, and Alu. So we're going to see definitely a little bit of a change here for the Untouchables. I think that's a great move that they definitely need to do if they want to at least tie this match up at 1 game apiece here coming into set number 2. For Southern Exposure, I think they're going to not do any personnel changes. I don't see any reason why they would need to after winning set number 1. They're out there on the floor with the same 6 players.
Yeah, I would not change a thing if I'm Southern Exposure, as they are playing really well right now. Have Chicago a little bit on their heels. We'll see if Ian Cap is able to change that. He'll have the ball in his hands to serve first, and I do think that was the right, but I think he's most valuable when he's distributing the ball.
Yeah, and I think it's important to get Milnazikh on the court as well, offensively speaking, for Chicago Untouchables.
So Cap goes for it and misses short. And ball back to Southern Exposure as we begin set number 2 here in Atlantic City. Ira Thor alongside Matt Prosser, who has seen a lot of great volleyball. You've been on the air for more matches than I have this weekend, so you've seen a little bit of everybody. This is my first real good look at Southern Exposure. since the first day of the tournament where, I think I was more impressed with them than I looked at on paper. On paper, I didn't know if there was that one player that was going to pop off the page, but they have appeared to be a well-oiled machine all the way around.
Yeah,
maybe you don't need that one star when you have so many guys who play well cohesively.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Ira. I mean, having the addition of Kyle D'Agostino at the libero position has really solidified their passing and defense. Mercado playing opposite, as you see there. He's offered some nice range. The block and defense continues to improve, though, for Southern Exposure, as we see another block there by Langston Payne, really causing some problems for the Untouchables.
Yeah, Wiskerchen also involved there, so he gets credit with his first block assist, but that's now 5 blocks for Southern Exposure, and they are closing off the net for sure as Wiskerchen serves. Pass by Chicago outside. The big swing by Ragland, and it's rolled over. Ragland goes for it again, and I think he left it short.
Yeah, he had to go lefty that time, and I don't think that's his strong suit, so that ball finds the net. But for those of you at home watching, pay attention to the battle between the liberos here. Ryan Alu, number 5 in white, and Kyle D'Agostino, number 10 in light blue. Going to be some great digging on both sides of the net for those guys.
That's going to go over on one. Chance here to run something for Southern Exposure. Mercado goes deep. Right side, sticking it through for the kill was Schwady, his second kill of the match.
Schwady being called upon to get a kill there in transition. Really need him to produce some strong offensive performances here for the Untouchables if they do want to even this match out at one set apiece.
They go right side to Mercado, a little roll shot that is covered by Chicago. And in the middle,
Tom
getting
Burrell.
involved. Yeah,
nice
Burrell.
kill by him in transition as well.
We
Sorry,
mentioned.
looked like your view was a little bit blocked there. Ira's got some equipment in front of us, and I had a little bit of better angle there.
I'm looking right into the back of the official and one of our cameras, so I appreciate the pickup there. Burrell picks up his second winner. That's going to go over on a double contact by Sullivan.
Pass just a touch too tight to the top of the net there. Sullivan couldn't quite get there. Rare double contact called on him.
So Balancic with the serve. Much better pass this time, and Lang's able to stick it through. Langston Payne, I should say, with the winner. That's his third kill. He's got 3 blocks as well, and he'll go back to serve. And the Piscataway, New Jersey native, grew up right outside of Rutgers University here in Jersey. And he'll serve deep. They go to Ragland, and it never goes over.
Unfortunately for Ragland, that's his second back-to-back hitting error after a nice start for the Untouchables, but giving up a dig and then back-to-back hitting errors is not the direction that the Untouchables want Ragland to go.
Need Ragland to stay consistent. He's been their top kill producer so far. And there's another stuff in the middle. This time it's Mercado with a little help from Ofoha. Ofoha's third block.
Nice disciplined block there by Mercado. The opposite, he stays in and helps out. Gets his hands over the net and blocks Burrell back down to the floor.
One-handed set, and swinging away was Schwady for the winner.
There's the Schwady that the Untouchables want to see. Coming in hard with that lefty, opposite attacking from the right side of the court. Wiskerchen can't contain it as that ball goes out of bounds.
So Schwady, the Purdue product, 6'5", out of Gurney, Illinois, lines up the lights with the big toss. Nearly an ace. And sticking it through the block and finding the spot, rock line, 4th kill for him. So that brings up Chad Mercado, 6'5", opposite, former standout for Lees McRae in Virginia, and leaves it short. Lees McRae, one of the top Division II programs in the country. And here comes the serve from Ragland, and he misses wide.
Ragland's got to find himself here, kind of compounding errors as we reached our first technical timeout. those of you younger players out there, if you're making error after error and it's your turn on the inline, try to find some kind of rhythm with your jump serve. If you are jump serving, hit the court. Don't just give a free point to the other team. Don't take your frustrations out on your serve. Focus on a good high toss, good contact with that ball, drive it cross court, see if you can create an out-of-system play for your opponent. And then from there, try to continue your service run with a little bit more aggression from the inline.
Teams have been very aggressive with their serving, but not finding the court. To me, if you're going to miss deep. To miss wide, to miss short, those are mistakes that, especially at this level, you got to find a way around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw back-to-back service errors there. Previous serve was a short jump float by Mercado that didn't make it over the net. And then Will Ragland serving out wide. But, you know, serve pressure is a premium here in men's volleyball. And unfortunately, it does come with its fair share of service errors. But does make the game much more exciting in terms of power and skill that's involved with this specific volleyball skill here with your jump serves from the inline.
Now, touching on Will Ragland, we offered the description of his offensive abilities, but I think his most valuable contribution right now has been helping to shore up the reception game for Chicago. He's done a really good job.
Great call, Ira. He has been on point with his passing. He did start out the match pretty well offensively, but now that the Untouchables have inserted Milnazic into the front row, should be able to take some of that offensive load off of Ragland. There's Burrell.
Ragland, by the way, only 6'1", played his college volleyball in Virginia. As that is put away, the kill by Rockline. He's the first player to 5 kills in the match.
Rockline making a solid contribution in yesterday's match. Didn't see him play on Friday, but again was a strong role player yesterday for Southern Exposure and continuing that today as well.
So here is Ofoha with the serve. I thought for a second that they were going to try to poke that one over, but Nazik, I guess, just couldn't get underneath it enough for that little crafty beat shot, which is what he was looking for there. Yeah,
that ball had a little too much sweat slime on it. Just kind of slipped between the fingers there.
Is that an actual physical term, sweat slime?
Yeah, happens all the time. You know, these guys are working hard. Ball picks up some moisture. Gets a little slippery between the hands, you know?
Well, beware of the sweat slime monster out there. 10-8 is the score, and Ian Cap, he'll serve. Cap, big powerful serve, rattles the net, but it is short. That net is still moving. And we have Nick England with an update on the sideline.
Thanks so much, guys. You talk about the sweat slime monster. I'm over here getting ready and got hit by the stray ball, and I found out exactly what you were talking about firsthand, so thanks for the heads up, gents. In terms of what both teams can expect to see and what they're talking about right now, Chicago's happy with the way that they're attacking the ball offensively, but they keep reiterating over and over a sense of urgency needs to be created. And we saw that point where Milnazic unable to set the ball over. That's the little stuff that needs to start going their way. On the side of Southern Exposure, they love the energy. This is the style of game they want to play. Right now, though, they do want to focus on shoring up their serving game. They're not satisfied there. They're loving the defensive efforts and their ability to transition it into strong side-out points. Back to you guys.
Nick, thank you for that report. Nick is bringing us so much amazing insight on the sideline this entire weekend. As our team of 3, proud to bring you this tournament here in Atlantic City. Free ball opportunity. Oh, Mercado puts it away.
Mercado not missing that opportunity to get a quick kill there on that overset from the Untouchables.
And Mercado actually took something off of that. He didn't go up and try to put it straight down. He just tried to find a seam that was unguarded on the floor and still got the highlight reel.
Yeah, he did.
So a 3-point game here. Southern Exposure continues to lead in the 7-footer. Paul Bolanczyk will serve. In the middle, left short by Payne.
Unfortunate misconnect there between Sullivan and Payne. Haven't seen that breakdown so far yet today. See if Sullivan can go right back to him to reestablish that connection there.
So now a 2-point lead. Chicago trying to claw its way back. Payne, second chance. Blocked back, continuation of Payne again. Oh, Payne with a half swing there and still puts it down.
Nice heads-up play by Langston Payne. That's 3 straight sets. Sullivan trying to reestablish that connection after the first error. Second one was controlled back, and finally the third ball goes down for the point.
I'll tell you what, Payne was so far over the net with his head that his arm was literally parallel with the top of the netting, and he just basically just had to tap it over. Amazing how high he could fly.
Yep. Mercado with an unfortunate net violation there after blocking back the untouchable attack. Here's Schwady now with his lefty jump serve coming from right back position then. Left back. Rockline gets the kill off the block.
So Rockline picks up his 6th kill of the match, and Southern Exposure has the lead.
Burrell comes back with a nice kill attempt of his own.
Yeah, Tom Burrell with the answer there as Chicago hangs around. They are down just 2, and we'll still see Will Ragland try to make contributions to keep Chicago in it. And that's a contribution right back towards us. An ace by Ragland.
Untouchables have kind of been living and dying by their serves, and finally, after quite a few service errors, Ragland gets a nice, well-needed ace right there from the inline.
Ragland goes at it again, back to back, and we're even at 15.
Back-to-back aces by Will Ragland.
Ragland, 6'1", out of Richmond, Virginia. And he will serve one more time. Takes a little bit off this one. And over on 2 there for Sullivan for the kill. Southern Exposure back on top. And as we head to our next technical timeout, we send it back to Nick England on the sideline.
Thanks so much, guys. We see that serving success there for Ragland. I do want to make sure all of our fans know that on the NVA USA website, we have top kill leaders and ace leaders, all sorts of stats like that tracked. Ragland coming into this event was actually one of the top 5 servers in the league, boasting 4 aces, so adding a couple more there. Definitely no surprise. The man's got a cannon, and we'll look to see if he can help bring the Chicago Untouchables back into this match with it. Back to you guys.
Yeah, serving has been definitely one of the hallmarks of this Southern Exposure squad. Tyler Hubbard-Neal, who's not playing in this match, also among the leaders, as has been Tim Lurich, who's not playing in this one. So many guys on this roster are able to contribute from behind the service line. And, you know, Ragland collegially was almost a player who was hidden for years as he played at little-known Eastern Mennonite University in Southern Virginia. Eastern Mennonite for years was one of the top Division III programs, but being in a market that doesn't get a lot of publicity, nobody really knew about him.
That's one of the awesome things about the National Volleyball Association, giving these guys a chance to continue their playing careers after college and creating some awareness and new opportunities. And there's Milnazic with his first kill of the match, I believe, right? Second.
So Milnazic comes in and gets the winner, and they need some contributions from their bench. He's providing it here as Tom Burrell. He's got 3 kills and a block serving. From the back row, getting the winner, putting it away was Rockline, his 7th kill.
Rockline continuing to contribute much needed fashion for Southern Exposure, saying his name quite a bit as the kill leader so far for the team in black and pink.
Ofoa, the 6'8" Canadian, serving. Dug up by Mercado, it'll be sent down the line, too long. Good bid there by Rockline after the great dig by Mercado.
Nice aggressive error. I'm sure the coaching staff is okay with that. Rockline producing some points offensively and had an opportunity there to get his feet under the ball and swing. He just missed it out, though, through the inline.
So Ian Kapp will serve for Chicago.
Oh.
And he gets the ace on Mercado as that split D'Agostino and Rockline. And I think Mercado may have been screened on that. Kapp picks up his first ace. And it's now an 18-17 lead for the Untouchables.
So we're starting to see the service pressure finally coming online for the Untouchables after Ragland gets an ace, followed up by Kapp's ace. Mercado caught in that unfortunate place as an opposite in the back row that trying to get out of the way, not too sure if it was in or out. Maybe the screen affected his vision. But something we talked about at the beginning of the match, the Untouchables service game from the inline really needs to produce points for them. And finally now towards the end of the second set, we're starting to see that.
In between the second and third set, Nick England will have another coach-candid conversation. We'll speak to the Southern Exposure coaching staff. That'll come up between sets 2 and sets 3. And Chicago trying to get to set 3 all square at 1 set apiece. Find themselves in front by 1 after the timeout here by Southern Exposure.
I think the personnel changes that the Untouchables made to start this set are starting to pay off as Kapp, now the setter, finally getting his first ace. Let's see if he can do it again.
Another good serve by Kapp. They go outside, cross down the line. What a swing there by Mishikian. His third kill.
Nice swing down the line by Mishikian, catching Kapp's right arm and that ball going out of bounds.
So Derek Sullivan will serve. Has 1 ace so far. Done a good job setting. Off the court, that is chased down by Molnazic and then sent too long.
Schwede, just unfortunate, untimely hitting error there. As a lefty, getting caught on the left side of the court, set kind of coming over his shoulder. Tricky ball to keep in play.
So 19-18 the score is Southern Exposure, based on Sullivan's serving, has regained the lead. Off the tape. In the middle and getting the kill to tie it is Bolanzik. Bolanzik's second winner of the match, and credit the good pass there from Alou to set that play up for the quick finish.
Untouchables are going to want more of that action from Bolanzik.
And we'll see Jake Molnazic serving. Molnazic misses long.
Molnazic still trying to find his rhythm here in this set. Didn't play game number 1. Not quite fully warmed back up again from the inline.
Molnazic, who played with Kapp at Kane University here in New Jersey, one of your top D3 programs in the country. That is blocked straight down. Double block by Payne and Rockline, 7th block for Southern Exposure.
Timely block by Rockline and Payne there, well formed. Catching Schwede, trying to go down the line, and Rockline just rejects that ball.
And a 2-point lead here for Southern Exposure, trying to gain a 2-0 lead in the match. Kapp goes right side, and off the top of the high hands, Schwede gets the winner.
Much better swing there by Schwede, going high off the fingertips and out of bounds. Not pulling his arm down and trying to swing cross court like he did on the previous play.
And we'll see Mushikian come out. Johnny Gomez will come in for defensive purposes, and it finds him right away. And a block, double block by Chicago as Burrell teams up with Schwede, their first tandem of the day.
Nice payback block there by Schwede. As you can see, he's letting Rockline know that they're back even now.
Gomez with the pass. Mercado slips it through. So Mercado picks up the kill to give them back the lead, his 5th winner of the match.
Mercado with a nice change of direction, coming in hard, looking like he's going to hit cross court. Last minute trying to get slimy Chizzies down the line off the block, and that's what he does.
Deep serve, just long. And we're all square again at 22-0, and Gomez coming in here defensively, playing the back row, has been a good contribution so far. Great defensive experience on the collegiate circuit at George Mason, and we'll see how he contributes the rest of this set. Too long. I think that was a good move by Southern Exposure, bringing Gomez in.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives Mishikian a chance just to catch his breath. He's a great passer as well, great defender. Let him take a breather, grab a quick drink before he comes back into the front row, as Gomez is sometimes a libero for Southern Exposure.
Left short. That is stuffed back. Second chance. Oh! Highlight reel for Burrell as he puts it down. Such quick action for Chicago. We're tied at 23.
Bit of a okey-doke juke play on that one. It looked like a
That's a great description. Ragland with the serve. Gomez. That's tipped back. Quick hands by D'Agostino. They send it over. Can Chicago capitalize? Outside. Blocked back in. Burrell on the rebound. Puts it away.
Burrell in the right place at the right time, able to step close and sort of hit that block back deflection, turned into a really great set that he was able to kill for the winner.
Sometimes those ping pong rebounds off the block are the best set you'll see all day. As Burrell went up uncontested and puts it away, the Untouchables have set point when we come back as Southern Exposure calls a timeout. But, you know, we talked about defensively, what a great tandem for the Southern Exposure to have Gomez, D'Agostino. They're really interchangeable if you want to, in terms of who's a libero and who, you know, plays in defensive specialist, I guess, in the back row. And they could both be the starting libero on any team in the league.
Absolutely. I mean, we're really seeing the depth of Southern Exposure, but really all the teams across the board, the depth of their rosters, that they're able to bring people in and out between sets. If someone's not performing where they need to be or they want to do a quick little lineup change, there's another guy that's ready and waiting to come in and make an impact.
So set point, Ragland serves. They go to Mercado. That is kept alive. Big dig by Schwede. And too long. We're even at 24. And we will play on extra points. Another great pass by Gomez, who he will now come out as rotating back into the front row is Mishikian.
See our first overtime game here.
Kevin Rockline will serve. They go outside. Oh, double stuff! Reach out and stuff someone. Timely there as Ofoha and Sullivan with the stuff. Sullivan, of his big hands, teaming up with the middle. And it is set point here for Southern Exposure. Fourth block for Ofoha and the 8th for Southern Exposure. Oh, that won't get over.
That's an unfortunate service error right there.
What a time to miss that short.
Rockline wants that one back, that's for sure.
Well, Tom Burrell says, thank you very much. My turn to serve. And he sends it down the line. Mercado dug up there by Schwede. Slipping through the hands for the winner.
Ragland making a nice transition kill, rattling it through, and Mercado can't get to it in time as that ball finds the ground. Fortunately, we don't need to get the mop out to clean up that dive. Well, we will be for a minute here. Mercado, one of the hardest working guys in the gym, as you can tell. He dives. We've got to take a safety timeout, clean up the floor.
Question is, how much sweat really was on the floor after 2 sets?
Great question. Great question. We'll never know.
That's great perspiration mystery. Mercado, good pass, and they roll it over, and it will fall in. Mishikian using the platform. Perfect setup by Mercado for his 4th kill, and we are even again. Once again, the floor needs a little bit of a bath time dry off. Anybody who has little kids at home, used to having a towel that big as you go through the weekend ritual. Every Sunday the kids get a bath, right? Down the line and wide. And there's almost always a fight about it, too.
Yeah, there sure is. There sure is.
Mom, I don't need a bath. Yes, you do. It's been 2 weeks. And timeout for Chicago as they have Southern Exposure has regained the lead. It's 27-26. Any parent in America watching knows exactly what I'm referring to. So
I'm more confused about the 2-week break between baths.
I mean, listen, Mom and Dad are working. It's a busy week. You got to nap all day on Saturday.
By that time, I would hope
sometimes you miss a week.
By that time, I would hope the kid would want to take a bath after 2 weeks.
Mom, why do I smell so bad? Well, it's been 2 weeks.
There's this thing called soap and a bath. Go use it.
Oh, man.
Or we'll get the hose on you.
Little joys of parenthood that all of us who've been there understand. Well, the Untouchables trying to use this timeout to see if they can find a way to tie this up again, as we are now deep in extra points, and serving is Ofoha. They go right side, and putting it away to equal it is Schweedy, his 5th put away of the set and of the match.
Nice attack by Schweedy going down the line. His in-system set coming from Cap.
And he and Cap will try to clean this up as we are now deep in extra points. Cap, big time serve, eats up D'Agostino. That is blocked back by Bolanczyk, and then a mistimed error there gives set point back to Chicago, their 2nd set point.
One of those situations where maybe slightly overzealous hand setting there by D'Agostino. Should have gone for the bump set and a little bit less risk involved with it.
28-27. Best server on the court has it. Cap gonna come over, and that is put down as Bolanczyk takes advantage of the big swing from Cap, and he lands the game-winning kill as Chicago, they even it, winning 29-27, and we are even at 1 set apiece.
Credit to Cap making those 2 big serves. He came on late with that service run through the second half of game number 2 after a little bit of a slow start. And also credit to Milnazic for getting that kill on the overpass. His offensive production has been somewhat questionable through game 2, but he was ready for that one and took advantage of it, sneaking it right in front of the block of Sullivan.
Now we are between sets 2 and 3, so here's the interview that we promised Nick England with the Southern Exposure coaching staff.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm here with Coach Tony Glessner. Tony, that is a tough loss in the deep innings. Coming in, Chicago Untouchables on a hot weekend, 2-0, and so are you guys having a great weekend. You know, 1 loss earlier to Tyrants, but what does the preparation look like for you guys to take them down?
I think our teams are pretty fairly even matched. I think we both have really good middles. It's going to be about that first contact and ball control. So we've got our outsides in right now that are better ball control for the weekend so far that have been playing really well. And we just want to work on getting that first contact better. At the end of that set right there was kind of tough. I think we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. We had opportunities to dig some balls and get another swing out of it. But other than that, I think we just need to keep our middles engaged and our middles involved, and things are going to happen as soon as we play our game.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Ofoha has been a huge part of that revamp, bringing him in. But I want to touch on what you were saying earlier about the outsides. You guys are so well-rounded with such a wide variety of tools on the outside. What is that decision-making process like in this match when you're trying to pick the roster and what's going to work for you?
Yeah, we just kind of went with who was hot yesterday. I think all 3 of them bring something a little different. They're all a little undersized, but they're all high flyers. Any one of them can go in at any time, but we just kind of went with who was hot, how we ended yesterday, and that was the decision for today. I think Tyler's probably going to find some time here as long as this match continues to extend.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And finally, my last question before I let you go here. Coming off that loss, you know, you guys are going to be going to at least 3 or 4 sets, or at least 4 sets here. What does the preparation look like for set number 3?
Yeah, I think we just need to focus on maintaining our energy and our style of play here, and we just need to make sure that we limit some of these errors that we have. We have some kind of careless errors with serving that I think we can pick up and clean up a little bit.
There you have it. Clean up a little bit of the errors and see if they can take it back to the Chicago Untouchables and prevent a clean 3-0 weekend for them. Back over to you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
For that in-depth interview, more of England's insights throughout the weekend. Super helpful and exciting to get that information from the coaching staff of Southern Exposure as they find themselves now tied in sets 1-1 after a deuce game goes in favor of Chicago Untouchables, leveling the match. That game score was 29-27. So as we prepare for set number 3, we're going to take a short little break just to regroup and gather. We'll be right back for set number 3 after this.
And we're back here at Harris getting ready for set number 3, all even at 1 apiece. Southern Exposure took the first game convincingly 25-20, but Chicago wouldn't go away. And found itself tied here after 2 sets. They won in overtime, extra points, 29-27. I believe that is our highest set output of the entire tournament so far.
Yeah, we touched on it. Good deuce game win. Sullivan starts us off with a service error, unfortunately, for Southern Exposure.
Looking at Southern Exposure, they have kept the same players out there that have taken them this far. Very easily could be a 2-0 lead for Southern Exposure at this point. Meanwhile, Chicago, they made some changes in that second set, and they paid off. And I really believe the addition of Cap at setter has kind of stabilized this offense.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Ira. That's a great point. Cap coming in, started the match off in the outside hitter position. After losing set number 1, he was moved back to the setter duties. And that change, along with one other, was able to help them get that second set win.
I don't know if those front row seats are the best seats in the house when you have these line drive serves coming right at you. If you look down at your phone for 1 second, it may not end well.
So pay attention. Sit there at your own risk.
Wiskerchen misses that one wide as the teams trade miscues. 2-1. Chicago with the early lead. And we'll see the ball in the hands of Jake Molnazik. He's got 2 kills so far in the match. Sends this one deep. D'Agostino's waiting for it. Right side, Mercado. Crafty roll shot.
That ball finding the floor. A nice shot by Mercado to have the court awareness that there was one blocker in front of him and saw the open meat of the court. Bolonzik could step off the net and try to play that ball as opposed to just watch it drop as
Mercado,
2 of his teammates hit the floor.
Mercado's got a team-high 6 kills. They go outside. Oh, off the hands. Ragland with authority.
Ragland's got a live arm for a little bit undersized hitter, but Will Ragland just coming in with some authority and taking care of business out there on the left side.
Ragland picks up his 6th kill. And we'll see the 7-footer Bolonzik serving. They go back to Mercado, and he's able to tool the block for his 7th kill as he and Ragland continue to be the 2 workhorses for each side.
Battle of the beards a little bit there. Fun competition at the net, blocking and hitting against one another.
Of course, the most famous beard in the building belongs to JBJ Events as that lands for an ace. Mercado gives his team the 4-3 lead. His first ace. JBJ Events, that is the best logo in the building, other than the NVA logo, of course. Oh, and he drops in another! Mercado with an off-speed pitch that falls in front of everyone. Just magic.
Followed up with a little bit of that special shimmy that we hadn't seen quite yet. That was special.
What does he do for an encore? How about that? Free ball opportunity, tipped back by Cap. Now it's going to be a back row attacker.
Back row blocker as that overpass. That ball broke the plane, and there's that third beard in the building all over the place. Right now, I'd say that Mercado's beard is ahead of the pack. Nicely groomed, helping out his service game for sure.
We'll officially call that an ace, as well as that forced the Untouchables into the net. So 3 aces in a row for Mercado before he misses that one. So a 6-4 lead for the Southern Exposure over Chicago Untouchables, our second of 5 matches on our final day of the weekend. Down the line and missing wide.
Schwede changing it up, trying to get an ace down the line for himself on Mercado, but that one doesn't find the court.
So if you're doing the math, this is the 12th match. 15 total to be played if you're watching locally. Still time to come down. We'll be playing until 7 p.m. tonight and beyond, as that is left short on the attack by Schwede. 2 p.m. is our next one. 4:30 will be Team Freedom, the local team, the only unbeaten left in the league, taking the court, and then a really great match at 7 p.m. tonight as the Ramblers and the Blaze connect, and 2 teams that know each other very well because they train in the same part of the country. As we reach our first technical timeout, Southern Exposure on top.
Yeah, great schedule of action today, Ira. Obviously, you said it. We're working our way through 15 matches here over a 3-day span. This is match number 12. Not that we're looking ahead or anything like that, but it has been quite a busy weekend for everyone here in Atlantic City. We're happy to be here, thankful for the opportunity to bring professional men's indoor volleyball to the volleyball world and domestically in the United States.
And to the East Coast, where the sport has seen such explosive growth on the amateur levels, both high school and collegiately, over the last 20 or 25 years. You know, early on in my collegiate career, I was assistant commissioner of the Northeast Collegiate Volleyball Association, which when I started, and we were the largest conference in the country for really any sport, quite frankly, started with about 24 teams. That was in 2001, and by the time we finished, this is Division III volleyball, there were 47 teams just in our conference that we ran, and that eventually led to the NCAA granting a Division III national championship. The sport has not grown as quickly at the Division I level, and that's why small colleges have been so important in allowing high school players to go on and extend their careers, and so many of them have gone on to have professional careers. As that one is in the ceiling and not coming back.
That's something I have never seen before, as the ball has officially been lodged in the ceiling. Guessing that's going to be a replay? I'm not too sure what happens on that.
I'm not sure either. I didn't see who swung away for Southern Exposure, but Chicago tried to have a kick save, and it ricocheted up into the rafters, and there will be a maintenance worker here at Harris that will soon have a nice Picasso ball in his garage.
Wow.
In 2 weeks when they go up there on a lift.
Wow. Speechless after that one.
So it looks like it's going to be a replay, I think. It is a replay officially.
Yep.
Well, you had to see something new. Rockline just misses deep. I'm not kidding, by the way. In 2 weeks, there will be a maintenance worker who will get up on one of these 40, 50-foot lifts and will find himself a nice surprise. Oh, look at this beautiful Picasso volleyball. And pretty soon, there will be a child somewhere here in South Jersey training with an official NVA ball.
And who knows, in about 10 to 15 years, they might be playing in the league.
And they got their start because their dad found the ball above this floor here in Harris Casino.
Cinderella story.
Oh, a solo stuff in the middle as Burrell gets in on the action. His second solo stuff of the match, his third block total. And Burrell has quietly had a big impact on this match. We haven't said his name a lot in the offensive game, but he's certainly closing it off. Getting a touch, and that is Cap. Poked over to extend the play. What can Southern Exposure do from the back row? Mercado off the block at the top. Mercado, top of the block, gets his 7th kill.
Mercado continuing to manufacture the points, bail his team out in transition, a longer rally like that. Good aggressive high hand swing off the block and out of bounds.
Southern Exposure leading by a deuce. Not anymore, that's short. As Ofoha misses. And we'll see Tom Burrell.
A few too many service errors there from Ofoha.
Burrell goes after the libero, and the attack goes long. As D'Agostino got handcuffed, Burrell, another pass by D'Agostino from the back row. Getting the touch for the kill is Kevin Rockline. And let's send it over to Nick England for another update.
Thanks so much, guys. And I want to start this off by letting you know I'm a little offended that in the discussion about facial hair, I wasn't even getting a mention. But I'm here looking at the miss that we just saw from Langston Payne, and I think it speaks true to the breakdown of point scoring right now. Looking at the stats, we're seeing both teams having 3 kill leaders. From the side of Southern Exposure, we're seeing Kevin Rockline, we're seeing also Eddie Mushikian, and Chad Mercado on the right side with no middle presence really established thus far. However, on the side of the Untouchables, they're looking at Schwady on the right, and they're looking at Will Ragland on the left. However, they have added middle Tom Burrell as their major kill leader. Both teams currently tied up exactly in their kill counts. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds and if Southern Exposure can establish a little bit of middle dominance using Ofoha and Langston Payne. Back to you guys.
Well, if I'm sitting here doing beard rankings on this side of the court, on the right side of the court, I would give Mercado the gold medal. I would probably give Nick England the silver. And it looks like Sullivan gets the bronze. So at least England gets in on the prize money.
Nick's not satisfied with that. He's out of here. There's his second place silver medal beard effort, as you can tell.
And that is left short by Mushikian. Langston Payne's got a little beard action going on as well. I did before the weekend, but I tried to trim it for Memorial Day weekend. You know, went with the stubble look instead. And my 6-year-old daughter, not liking it very much. She tells me it feels like sandpaper when I give her a hug. So I might go back to the full beard. And she does get a bath more than once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's nice to hear.
We're probably averaging about every 3 to 4 days. All the complaints. Payne leaves that one short, and it's 13-12 as these two teams continue to go back and forth. It's been a very good seesaw battle so far after what was a very quick start for Southern Exposure in the first set. And Belantic, he goes down the right line. Off to hands, that is covered by Ragland. They go back to Ragland. Big dig by D'Agostino. And slipping it through for the kill, Rockline, his 9th winner.
Southern Exposure. Nice dig there by D'Agostino. I hadn't said his name in a little while as we've been talking about a lot of beards. But really contributing in the back row for Southern Exposure. Ooh, another ace for Mercado. That's his fourth ace.
Mercado suddenly becoming the player to look at from behind the service line, and he wasn't even in the conversation when we were talking about the strength of this team. Nearly another as he handcuffs Chicago. That's not going to find its way over. That's a block at the net. A solo stuff, I believe, in the middle for Afoha. That is his 5th block. And 9 for Southern Exposure overall. And a turn of events here as Mercado takes a little off of that. Ragland with the better pass and then putting it away to get the much-needed side out was Kyle Schwede.
Schwede bailing his team out there after a much-needed side out. Giving up 2 straight points there. Untouchables now only down by 1. Midway through set number 3 here.
Tight to the net, sent over on 2. The cap goes to Ragland. Oh, what an angle. How was Ragland able to do that as his body was going left and the ball was going the other direction? Great athleticism.
Ragland has some special skills, obviously. That was a little lefty cut shot, kept the ball in play. But Southern Exposure
got the point.
Got the point.
And they are the first to 16 as we go to our second technical timeout. And I don't think there's anything on either of these teams right now that points out that you have to make an adjustment. I think right now it's just 2 teams that are playing really hard, and it's been a fun match to watch for that reason. Oftentimes you make the adjustments because what you have out there is not working or somebody is cold. And I don't think that's true of either team right now. They're missing serves, of course. It's going to happen when you serve tough, but Mercado has probably been the best all-around player in this match so far because of his ability now to make a difference in the service game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Ira. It's not really a necessary thing to change the lineup. It's really what can you get more out of in certain areas of your team. And for the Untouchables, they need to see some more production out of their middle, Balanzik, the 7-foot-tall middle. We haven't said his name offensively very much, even defensively, since game number 1. I can't recall him really making any kind of an impact along the front row. And then for Southern Exposure, they're a pretty well-rounded team right now. Obviously, Mercado making contributions from the inline with his service game. Sullivan doing a nice job blocking and running the offense for Southern Exposure. D'Agostino obviously patrolling the backcourt as libero. And Langston Payne really offensively doing some good work there for Southern Exposure. So, yeah, I mean, this game is just coming down to a couple breaks here and there. As long as the ball doesn't get stuck in the ceiling, we're going to continue to have this kind of knockdown, drag-out fight.
And that is left short on the return of the play by Rockline.
Unfortunate start out of that technical timeout.
By the way, that's not the first ball I've seen stuck in the ceiling, but it's the first one in NVA action. Yesterday I was watching. Oh, what a smash. Wow. Off of the shoulder. Off of the shoulder of Alou, the put away for Southern Exposure.
Mercado just launching a bomb.
Unreal.
Wow.
I was watching some juniors action yesterday, and there was a really high dig off of the serve that got stuck in the ceiling.
So the second ball here in this facility, there are now 2 volleyballs here stuck in the rafters.
First one here on the NVA courts. These were probably 13 or 14-year-olds.
Wow.
A little less ball control at that age. Great set by Cap. Southern Exposure going to roll this over. Covering it is Chicago and tipped over on 1. And then a block at the net. One hand there by Jake Milnazik, his second.
Milnazik reading that one like a book. Sullivan going for a dump in transition. A little too obvious as Milnazik gets up there and shuts that one down.
That's the 3rd solo block of the match by Chicago, 2 for Burrell. And that is covered by the Untouchables and then put over by Cap on 1. Cap again attacking. That was going to go out of bounds. Cap this time sets up Ragland, and he got it to go.
The Untouchables just not going away. Very pesky, staying involved offensively, getting the ball in play. Nice little scramble plays. Fortunate benefactors of scoring that point. Now we're tied at 17.
The Untouchables are certainly putting on a fight. D'Agostino, a great platform pass to save it. Here's a chance in transition. Ragland from the back row destroys it.
Ragland dropping a bomb of his own out of the back row in transition. He's not easing up on his attack lines at all. It's all or nothing for Will Ragland.
Man, Will Ragland, what a weapon. We didn't see him yesterday. He's playing outside in replace of Dan Nugent, who was so good yesterday, and we'll send it over to Nick England for another update.
No stats this time, guys, but talking a little bit about the state of the game. I got a chance during that last couple rallies to talk to Coach Mitch Wiskerchen a little bit about Chicago Untouchables and what they expect to see. He said, I'm a little disappointed with how bad the serving's been on the side of Southern Exposure and our inability to capitalize. And that was right before we saw Will Ragland going back and start a small run to get the Chicago Untouchables back on top. Right now we see them do a couple big rallies that gets the emotion and the energy up. And Mitch Wiskerchen understands exactly what it takes to get his guys fired up. We see that come true. 1 point lead established for the Untouchables, and their game plan is all but established here in Game 3. Over to you guys.
Nick is killing it with these updates. Such insightful information.
He's definitely winning the update category.
Yeah, he gets the gold medal for the updates. Might be a silver for the beard, but I'll take the gold for the updates any day. Going deep, D'Agostino with the pass. And wide on the attack. Was there a touch? There was not. So Mushigian with the error, and Chicago now has a 2-point lead.
Mushigian wants that one back for sure. One-on-one opportunity as his hit goes out of bounds.
Tom Burrell off of the tape. That is passed by Rockline. And then tipped by Mercado. Chicago, can they answer? Oh no, missing short was Jake Milnazik. He had to stop his approach and only ended up being like a 1.5 step approach as he's falling off balance, out of bounds. In that spot, you just got to get it over. I know he was going for the roll, Matt, but got to get that over.
Unfortunate situation there as Milnazik's offensive woes continue.
And that goes back to Chicago, another Southern Exposure service error. Can the Untouchables use this to their advantage? As Nick touched on in the report, I would be absolutely frustrated if I'm the Chicago coaching staff if you can't take advantage of these giveaways.
Yep.
So here's Ian Cap, tough server in his own right, but not there. And remains a 1-point set. Southern Exposure with a quick powwow on the court as Eddie Mushikian, can he be the one to break Southern Exposure through? Cap goes outside, cross court, wide. Missing was Schwady. And we're even at 20. Alou, the St. Francis product, saves it, and that is put down in play for the kill. Well, Jake Milnazik comes through there with a much-needed kill. That's his 4th of the match. Untouchables back on top by 4.
Untouchables need production out of Milnazik. It helps keeping the ball in play.
And off of the block for the put away. Rockline ties it up. He's the first to 10 kills in the match.
Ira, it's looking as if we may have another deuce game here. These two teams really battling against one another. Very similar offensive patterns. Starting to see favoritism towards certain hitters. Regularities between what they're doing here.
And getting the answer from the middle is Milnazik. I should say Bill Nazik. I'm mixing up my tough names to say there.
Those two rhyme a little bit.
I was going to get it wrong at some
and Milnazik.
Yeah, I was going to get it wrong at some point, and it comes as Bill Nazik puts it away for a 22-21 lead. Trying to answer will not happen here. as getting the stuff there on Ofahu. What a play there. Combination of Schwede and Burrell. The 7th block for Chicago. They lead by 2.
Chicago really coming on strong with their block and defense. Schwede joining in with Burrell there. After Balanzik gets that nice kill in the front row.
Ofoha went down the middle against the double block, and he challenged them, and he lost.
Yep.
And the Untouchables, after losing set number 1, are now, well, they are 2 points away from taking a 2-1 lead in this match and really pushing the temperature for Southern Exposure. We saw those standings. Southern Exposure comes in with a 3-2 record on the year. They are in second place in their conference. The Untouchables looking to go unbeaten on the weekend after an 0-3 start to the year. Saw them fall into a deep hole.
That would be a welcomed 3-0 weekend run for the Untouchables.
And that's going to fall in. Another kill for Mercado.
Timely kill there for Mercado. We haven't said his name through the front row for the last few minutes, but as he gets that kill now, goes back to the inline. He's been getting some aces through this set. Let's see what he can pull out of his beard right now.
Already got 4 aces and tough floater to go outside and tooling the block as Ragland gives Chicago set point. His 10th kill of the match.
And who else would you expect to get that kill? Mercado serves, Ragland kills, gets the winner. Like you said, Ira, set point now for the Untouchables.
And the ball in the hands of Kyle Schwede, the Purdue product, looking to seal a 2-1 lead. Gomez with the pass. They go to Mercado, run down, and sent over. Can Ragland with the pass help them finish here? That is blocked back, out of bounds, put away for the kill. It is Schwede with the winner. And 25-22, Chicago has a 2-1 lead in the match.
Timely swing there to win that set by Schwede, flying out of the back row, the lefty opposite, getting a big kill off the block and out of bounds. And the Untouchables have really turned the tables here on Southern Exposure after losing that first set. I think someone might have reminded them that they are currently in 5th place in their conference, and they want to get this win, finish off the weekend on a high point so that they can go home and prepare for our next event in 2 weeks' time.
Chicago, I was going to say, Chicago now has found the answer that they needed. They struggled so much in that first set to kind of find who was going to be the leader. The answer was just getting consistent setting from Cap and now just moving the ball around, and everybody's been involved. I think Will Ragland, and I was looking up his college profile. It's interesting to see him without a beard in the picture I found on the Eastern Mennonite website, but he's been an impactful player before. He's just one of those guys that nobody really knew about, and he is starting to emerge here today in front of the national audience. He could be one of these faces of the NVA. He does everything, and he's not one of these big guys that is overpowering, but he does it just with just good fundamentals, and he's just a lot of fun to watch. I'll tell you what, the one thing about Ragland that's really impressed me, we talked about somebody needing to shore up that service game. He's been consistent back there, has not had anything other than a perfect pass today.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ira. I mean, really highlighting the depth of the Untouchables roster. Ragland hasn't been playing all weekend. So to come in and really make an impact, he's fresh, and he is not afraid to swing hard at the ball, obviously. He likes to have fun. He's very vocal. He's a bit of a ringleader out there on the court, so really keeping the feelings and the tempo up and light, but he's really contributing from everywhere on the court. His passing has been on point. His serving from the inline has been terrific, getting Southern Exposure in some trouble, but offensively speaking, he's made some huge contributions from hitting on the left side there.
Meanwhile, for Southern Exposure, I don't know what the answer is right now. Right now, I'd say that the serving game for Southern Exposure really has kind of been their best weapon. That can't be all that they rely on. There's too much of a Chicago back row that is consistent to rely on just Mercado dropping in aces. Somebody's going to need to take charge. Mercado's gotten a little bit cold offensively. You know, he's looking at his numbers right now. You know, he's sitting there with 9 kills on the match, but somebody else is going to have to come through here. Rockline's got 10 kills, but he's been inconsistent as well. Langston Payne, they haven't used him very much. He's got 4 kills, 4 blocks. Hasn't got a lot of touches since maybe the middle way point of the second set. There's got to be another option. Maybe they come in with Tim Lurich, give him a chance. If they're going to go to the bench to try to look for an answer, Tyler Hubbard-Neal has had a couple good moments this weekend as well. There's got to be a spark from somebody.
We might see one change here or there for Southern Exposure, but you know, yeah, they've just kind of hit a little bit of a lull offensively speaking. You know, their service game, there was a few too many service errors in that game, and it sort of transferred over to their offense as well. So they need to kind of create some kind of sense of urgency. It doesn't look like they're making any personnel changes as the same crew comes out that finished that third set, but they need to make something happen here, or else they're going to find themselves on the losing end of this match in a 4-set game.
Southern Exposure's in a similar boat as a lot of teams in this league right now, that this 6th match of the tournament, of the weekend, third match here, played 3 in April. You start doing mathematics now. You lose this, all right, what do we have to win the rest of the way? Obviously, you're not thinking about that in the middle of the match, but when you get done here, you're going to start looking at what's upcoming in that June 11th, 12th, 13th event in San Bernardino, and where you need to be to position yourself going forward.
Yeah, really putting a premium on that third and final event based on how the finish of this match goes for these two teams. But you're absolutely right, Ira. You know, positioning is important, and going into our second half of the season here, this match may have a bigger impact.
Ian Cap going to serve. I was looking as Southern Exposure was kind of daring Cap to drop it in. They left the entire first 15 feet of the court vacated there. You know, Ian Cap has served pretty deep. I would have taken something off there and really made Southern Exposure think about it a little bit. That is left short. Actually, I take that back. That was off the block and out of bounds. I misspoke there. So credit to kill to Chicago. And it'll be Molnazic going back to serve. I thought that was short. I got screened by the official. That's left short on the serve. And back to Southern Exposure, a 2-1 lead. And it will be Payne to serve. And you're right, they have not made any changes. Southern Exposure would go with the horses that got them to this part of the race. Deep serve, Alou handles it. Roll shot, crafty move there. Mercado goes deep, Alou's waiting for it. And that is hammered home with authority. Ragland comes through. His 11th kill. It's a match high.
Nice swing by Will Ragland there in transition. Just trying to keep the ball in play, extending that rally with those first 2 roll shots from both of those players. Really fun seeing this battle continue through set number 4 here between Mercado and Ragland.
Mercado, that's going to fall in off the hands and the tape.
Ragland cannot believe that ball fell down or covered by one of his teammates.
Chad Mercado. Battle of the beards between Mercado and Ragland, and Mercado has been so good all around today. They go back to Ragland. Mercado's there for the dig. That is picked up by Chicago. They'll go outside one more time. Down the line with the block. Combo stuff as Rockline and Ofoha. That's 6 blocks for Ofoha in this match. And now 10 for Southern Exposure as a team. They lead 4-2, trying to find the answer. Mercado takes something off of that one. And a double. And Ian Cap can't believe it.
Might have had a little extra slime on that one. Seems to happen when Mercado serves. I don't know if there's a correlation there or not, but
Free ball opportunity. Getting the hands up was Burrell to prevent a kill. That's covered by D'Agostino. Mercado from the back row. Picked up by Chicago. Cap goes to Ragland. And it's put down. Double block. I think actually there may have been all three up there.
Yes,
So
there
it's
was.
a triple. Everybody in the front row involved. Ofaho with help from Sullivan and Rockline, who all get credit for the block. 11th for Southern Exposure, but not there as Burrell finds an answer. His 6th kill.
Burrell. Need to say his name a few more times here for the Untouchables as they find themselves down by 3, not getting the start that they were hoping for in set number 4. But expected that Southern Exposure comes out with some urgency.
Burrell's a little unsized for a middle, but he's very consistent. Big pickup for Chicago. Ragland changes direction, top of the hands for the kill.
Ragland with a nice kill off the block in transition, realizing that that was an important swing. Great pickup by his teammate Schwady in the back row.
Well, Ragland actually started his collegiate career at Carthage University in Wisconsin. Carthage won the Division III National Championship this past year. Did not lose a match. Went perfect on the year. But he transferred after his freshman year to Eastern Mennonite down there in southwestern Virginia. His career high was 27 kills in a match against a top-ranked Juniata squad. That was back his senior year in 2018. So Ragland in his mid-20s now and one of the leaders of his team. Oh, finding the answer off of the shoulder is Chad Mercado.
Dropping a bomb from the back row there, catching Milnazik's shoulder. Couldn't get out of the way of that one.
Mercado saying, and I'll drop a bomb on you, which is what he did. And it's a 7-5 lead for Southern Exposure. And that will find the floor. D'Agostino frustrated.
Ian Cap calling his own number on that one. Getting involved offensively as the setter in the front row.
Ian Cap does it so well, disguises that second touch. As that is into the net, the lead is 8-6, and we have our first technical timeout here in the 4th set.
Interesting start here to this 4th set. We did see Southern Exposure continue their intensity level, getting a nice 3-4 point lead, now down to 2, the Untouchables having to answer.
On the left side of the screen, you see a conversation with the Southern Exposure coaching staff and setter Derek Sullivan talking about, positioning is what it looks like. As Sullivan's, I think he's done a pretty good job of pacing the offense, has distributed the ball well and been a good leader out there. We haven't said his name too much, and I think setters, liberos are very similar in that regard. If you don't say their name often, that's largely because they're doing their job so well. There you see the Southern Exposure bench. They have an 8-6 lead. They have to win this set to extend this to 5. Our first match today, well, it was a sweep. We had 3 5-setters yesterday.
Bit of a marathon yesterday. Welcome to three-set short gamer this morning to get our day started. But, this one can go either way. It's going to be interesting to see how the day unfolds, Ira.
As long as the volleyball is well played, it could go 3, it could go 5. We just want to see entertaining volleyball here in Atlantic City. And we've gotten that so far between Chicago and Southern Exposure. And serving is Uchenna Ofoha. That is too long. Chicago wanted a touch, but you could just tell by the way that Jake Milnazik swung at the ball that wasn't going to find the court.
No, I noticed that Milnazik's got his right wrist taped up in a way that might be hindering his attacking, perhaps.
Burrell swings away, dug up by Southern Exposure. Sullivan with the swing. And that is blocked down, scooped up by the Untouchables. Then Ochoa digs, it goes over.
Oh.
And the answer.
Cap with a step close and a swing on 2. A bit more of a hard-driven spike attempt than a dump, but well heads-up play there by Ian Cap for the Untouchables.
Yeah, Cap picks up his 3rd kill, all from the center position. And Burrell, team down by 2 serving.
A net violation there on Sullivan, number 15 for Southern Exposure, as that pass drifted him into the net.
Well, we hadn't said Derek Sullivan's name much, and now we're talking about him. But
dreaded broadcaster jinx.
Absolutely, as Burrell tries to tie it. Back row, Mercado, and he misses wide.
That's 3 straight points now the Untouchables have taken off of Southern Exposure.
And since that technical timeout, Chicago's come out a little bit of a different attitude. They have tied it up. That's a little too long, though. It'll be Sullivan. He's standing in front of Patrick Dietz and Carl France, 2 very experienced coaches here in the Garden State and the New York City area. France is the new head coach at Fairleigh Dickinson University, which just launched a Division I program here in the Garden State. The first new Division I program in New Jersey in years.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Joining NJIT and Princeton.
Always a good thing when the growth of men's volleyball continues at the Division I level, or any level within the college ranks here in the United States.
But Division I has been the slowest adopter to new D1 programs. You've seen D2 and D3 really been the fastest expansion. And that's why you see so many players from all levels of the collegiate game here in the NVA, because if you're good, we'll find you. As Mercado drills it. Mercado picks up his 12th kill, and Southern Exposure needed that. Now a 2-point lead, and we will see Eddie Mushikian serving. I think that goes with all sports. You see it in the draft all the time. If you're good, it doesn't matter where you came from. If you're good, we'll find out about you.
Yep, I think you're right.
And that is going to fall in a block by the Untouchables by Schwede and Bolanzik. Only the 2nd block for Bolanzik.
Yeah, Bolanzik's been relatively quiet. I was expecting more out of him today. But we're not done yet, so he still has an opportunity to make some solid contributions here through set number 4.
Well, his team's in the lead, so even without him, they've gotten the result. And that is put down. Is there a double first? Oh, no, it was outside the antenna.
The line judge calling out of bounds off the antenna. I think Mercado is begging for it to be off of Ragland's block and into the antenna. Ragland saying he didn't touch it. Mercado saying it's not possible.
And Mercado visibly frustrated by that one. And we are even at 12 all. Molnazic with the serve. They go outside, cross court, finding the kill. Rockline his 11th. So Langston Payne, the former George Mason great, will serve. Southern Exposure up by 1. Goes with a deep float and just misses. Good communication there. You heard Ryan Alou. You could hear him screaming out. Everybody stayed away. We're even at 13. Alou's 6-footer out of Pipersville, Pennsylvania, played at St. Francis University outside of Pittsburgh. Cap goes outside. Ragland getting the touch was Rockline. Mercado off the block for the kill. Chad Mercado, match high 13. And he'll serve his team up 1. Tipping it was Ragland. Mercado's waiting for it. I thought there was a foot fault there, and there is. Back row attacker. Yeah, it was pretty easy to see. Wiskerchen was a good half step in front of the line. And we're even at 14-14. Here's Kyle Schwady. D'Agostino with a good pass. Mercado leaves it short.
Untouchables back in the lead by 1 here as we get halfway through set number 4. Mercado with a unfortunate and untimely hitting error. See what kind of pressure the Untouchables can continue to do here if they want to win this match in 4.
Good serve by Schwady. Temporarily handcuffs Southern Exposure. Doesn't matter, as coming down with a kill is Rockline, his 12th.
Ragland a little late to close up that 3-man block, and the ball goes between him and the net.
Next point brings us to our second technical timeout, as we are all even at 15. Rockline serving. They go to Ragland, and off of the block, Ragland gets the kill, his 13th, and Untouchables lead 16-15 as they head over to discuss during our second tactical timeout.
Great swing there by Ragland. He has this ability to just continue to tool the line side blocker out of bounds, and he's done it several times off of Sullivan's block, given the opportunity to. He's only been blocked maybe once or twice when he goes hard cross court and challenging the middles, but as a good undersized outside hitter that Ragland is, he continues to sort of use the block of Sullivan and tool that ball out of bounds down the line. So Untouchables now up by 1 during our second technical timeout. See Ragland talking with Coach Wiskerchen over there, figuring out what needs to be done so the Untouchables can possibly finish out this match at the end of this set here. Take home a 4-set winner and go back to Chicago on a high note. Southern Exposure looking to force a game 5. Hard to tell right now, Ira, who's in the driver's seat. It's a little bit back and forth, as it has been for most of the match. Last 2 sets, coming 29-27, 25-22. So not surprised at all to only have a 1-point difference here at this point of the match.
I actually like it better this way. It allows the script to kind of write itself as we continue to play on, and Ragland, Mercado both carried the team. Kevin Rockline has had a great performance so far. Kyle Schwady, he's been productive too. So many different answers possible for these teams, as that is into the net by Ragland. Ragland played his collegiate volleyball, by the way, in the same conference as Ian Cap. Both on different teams, of course, but both played in the Continental Volleyball Conference. Ragland, first time he's been handcuffed on a serve today. Doesn't matter, as bringing the thunder down the line is Jake Milnazik.
Big swing there by Milnazik. They needed that side out for sure after an out-of-system pass coming from Ragland. Milnazik with a well-timed winner.
Ian Cap was a first-team All-CVC choice in 2018 when Ragland was a senior. Ragland was second-team that year. Playing like a first-team All-Everything right now. Mercado, oh, what a save by Burrell to keep it going. Mercado's there for the pass. From the back row and finding a way through. Oh, no, they're saying it's too long.
Hit that ball out wide. Rockline coming out of the back row for a bit of a back bick 40. Unfortunately, he goes back cross court, can't find real estate for the point. Untouchables now with a 2-point lead.
I was looking to the back of the official. I thought that found the court, and I totally missed that. From the back row, Ragland, and he wags his finger like the Kembe Mutombo.
Big
he
block
picks up
there.
his 14th.
Big point by Ragland as the Southern Exposure squad wants to talk it over. They call a timeout here now, finding themselves down by 3. Coming to the business end here, Ira, of set number 4. Credit to Schwady for that nice dig, and Ragland in the right place at the right time, able to kill that ball in transition. So If you're Southern Exposure over there, Ira, what do you think you're trying to do here as we get to the end, set number 4?
Southern Exposure right now has to limit the errors. Can't have a perfect set there in the back for the Bic and hit it wide. And Southern Exposure has to minimize. You only got 6 possible points now, or you're going to lose this one, and the Untouchables are going to find themselves a 3-0 weekend. I think the Untouchables and the OC Stunners are very similar in the fact that they've made the necessary changes to come into this weekend to give themselves the best possible chance to win. Southern Exposure has made little tweaks here and there. Obviously, the addition of D'Agostino has helped shore up the defense. But they're making too many mistakes, Matt. Cannot have that happen against a team that's come out. Chicago has here with a new resolve.
Great points.
Down the line, free ball opportunity. And now the 7-footer gets involved as Bolanczyk drops down his 5th kill.
It's important to say that there was a personnel change there by Southern Exposure. Tyler Hubbard-Neal comes in to play front row for Wiskerchen and unfortunately gets served for an ace right out of the gate there. So credit to Burrell for seeing that as he goes down the line to Mercado.
That's dug up in the back row by Burrell. And missing just long was Chicago. Missed there by Kyle Schwady. Still a 3-point lead, 20-17.
Southern Exposure, the benefactors of that hitting error for sure. They needed it, or else they were going to find themselves down by 4. Instead, they're only down by 3.
Oh, Sullivan! Timely ace. His 2nd ace for Derek Sullivan. And now it's a 2-point set. Well, we talked about limiting mistakes. That is certainly capitalizing on your other strengths, and that has been your serving. 6 aces for Southern Exposure as they will wipe up the moisture monster.
Casually wiping the floor down. No sense of urgency in that as they try to take a mini timeout and try to ice Derek Sullivan as he prepares to serve once again.
Ragland with the pass and getting the stuff. Mercado and Payne, and it's a 1-point game. What once was 4 is now within reach.
Really need to see a good pass right now. Serve reception from the Untouchables and try to get a set into the 7-footer.
12th block for Southern Exposure. That's picked up by D'Agostino, who spins out of the way. And that will find the court. It's Cap and Bolanczyk for the stuff.
Big timely block by the Untouchables there. Southern Exposure calls their 2nd timeout now. Back up, down by 2, Untouchables fired up. Southern Exposure's got to figure out a little bit of what's happening, what's spinning, what they need to do here. After this timeout, in serve reception, what kind of offense they want to run.
21-19. It is getting late here for Southern Exposure, and we'll see what they come up with coming out of the timeout. The last timeout you mentioned brought in Tyler Hubbard-Neal for the first time in this match, who's been pretty good all weekend, but they went with a different option today, and that option was the Wiskerchen Mercado outside hitter combo. And meanwhile, Chicago, I'll tell you what, coming in not really knowing the team that well, having not broadcast the April event, you look at the 0-3 record and you think, how much of a threat are they really going to be? And they have made all the necessary adjustments to completely change your perception.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They've done a great job sort of forming their identity and what they're trying to do, and huge service opportunity here for Cap to add to this 2-point lead. Cap,
D'Agostino's able to give them something to work with, and then Mercado misses wide. And now, trouble time for Southern Exposure as the lead is 22-19.
Back up with a 3-point lead at a timely moment here in set number 4.
Cap again. Leaves it short this time.
Tyler Hubbard-Neal has not served a ball yet this match. First service attempt coming here.
Good serve. Handcuffs Ragland. Ragland's going to swing away. Sends it deep. D'Agostino to Mercado, and he's blocked. Combo stuff here by Schwede and Bolanczyk. Bolanczyk's now got 4 blocks. So does Schwede. The team has 10, and it could not have come at a better time because now they're 2 away from taking the match.
Nice serve.
Over on 1. Great serve and put down by Bolanczyk.
Credit to
it's match point.
Credit to Milnazic with a big serve from the inline. He's had some troubles offensively, but at a great time, he picks up a nice overpass that results in a back row blocker. Match point now for the Untouchables.
Milnazic tries to end it, and he does with the ace and the exclamation mark.
Ooh, what a finish. Milnazic with an ace.
Jake
Huge.
Milnazic. And look at that. Chicago, after losing game number 1, comes back to win the next 3. 20-25, 29-27, 25-22, and 25-20. Will Ragland has led the way with a little help from, well, a lot of players say contributed. Kyle Schwede, Tom Burrell, I thought had a huge contribution. I can't say enough about Ian Cap, but our man of the match has to be Will Ragland. He was the MVP of this one. Came in and gave Chicago a different look. And Nick England will speak to him in a minute as Chicago goes 3-0 in the tournament, and they even their overall record on the year to 3-3. We'll send it over to Nick England. He'll have a conversation. Will Ragland, 14 kills, our most valuable player.
14 kills. I'm joined by Will Ragland. What a stellar performance. You know, you haven't played a whole lot this weekend. You come out, and that is a performance to deliver. What was going through your mind when you were preparing for this match?
Just, I had a lot of friends on the other side, and I was just like, I don't want to let them block me, and I don't want to let them get digs. I was just, in my brain is like, let's show them how we do it out in Chicago, and just wanted to show them up a little bit. And
I think you guys showed everyone how you do out in Chicago. 0-3 first event, comeback, couple new firepower, guys added to the lineup, and you guys go 3-0. It was a huge showing. Definitely puts you guys way higher in the standings and a great spot to be. What do you think is the team's focus now going into that 3rd event as you guys make this late season push?
we just got to stay focused. We got those 3 wins, but we still got another tough 3 matches. Is it 2 weeks from now? So, just staying focused, keeping our guys heads up the entire time and making sure we're just running with everything we can.
Absolutely. And, coming in, we mentioned on the broadcast, you were a top 5 ace leader coming into this event. And then coming out, even though you played just that one match, you were cracking aces off the back line. When you get back there and you're in a high-pressure situation, what goes through your head? What do you focus on to make sure you're delivering a great serve?
Be honest with you, it's kind of empty when I go back there. I go back and just try and hit the ball as hard as I can and hope for the best. Don't really aim much. I just, grip it and rip it.
You heard it here first. Sometimes you try to aim, and sometimes it's the grip and rip. From the man himself, Will Ragland. Thanks so much, Will. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Nick. And maybe that's the secret right there. Just don't think. Just go out there and play and react and kind of let that muscle memory take over. And
keep it simple.
Simple enough. He had a tremendous impact on this match. And Chicago, what a showing this weekend. They go 3-0. They're now 3-3. Southern Exposure goes 1-2 on the weekend, so they're also 3-3 on the year. And you talk about a difference-making win. You now have Chicago picking up victories over teams that were above them in the standings, and they have made themselves certainly a team to look at. Here are the standings. This does not, of course, include this current match. And with the loss by Southern Exposure, they are 3-3. The Stunners, if they win today, have a chance to even themselves with Southern Exposure in the National Conference. And on the American side, the Untouchables now 3-3. Look at that deadlock you're going to see here in the win column. Stingers, Tyrants, the Blaze potentially could get there as well if they pick up a W today. we have ourselves meaningful volleyball being played as we close out day 3 here at the NVA Cup second event in Atlantic City. Matt, your final thoughts on what was a pretty impressive win for Chicago, losing game 1 and then coming back and just completely changing the conversation.
Yeah, nicely done by Chicago. They should be proud of it. They're definitely going to take that home and work towards the next event on a high note. But right now, we got to get ready for our next match. Utah Stingers versus the OC Stunners, which should be a very highly competitive game here, starting up in about 25 minutes. More high-level professional men's volleyball coming to you from Harrah's Casino in Atlantic City and the National Volleyball Association.
So that will be about a 2 p.m. start, our third match of the day. This one is final. Chicago bounces back to beat Southern Exposure 20-25, 29-27, 25-22, and 25-20. For Nick England and my partner, Matt Prosser, I'm Ira Thor. Thanks for watching this one. We'll talk to you again at 2 p.m.